Hello, all, and welcome to the Indie Author Life Show. I'm your host, MG Hunt, and today I'm here with someone who finds love within the darkness, Aussie author Kristen Dovnik. Applause, insert all that fun stuff.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me here today, Kristen. I really appreciate it. And thank you for generously giving your time today to talk about all the things to do with your writing and your indie author life related. And I can't wait to get into your extensive body of work because I have tried to do my research. And am I correct in saying that you have about 10 books to your name?
I got a few different ones. So I think it's five. I think it's five all
Yep.
up. But I think a lot of people get the misconception because The Light Princess is the first two books I published in one. So
Ah,
people go, oh, it's
yes.
three books. I'm like, no, it's actually two, but it's two in one.
Two and one. Nice.
Yeah,
Still, that's a
makes it
lot.
easier.
Yeah.
It is.
Does make it easier, but it's
But that's
impressive.
only what I've published. It's the only one I've published is I've got so more that
Yeah.
are still like in the works. It's insane.
I'm sure you've got like work in progress after work in progress, drafts and drafts and drafts, like behind the scenes that we're not privy to.
Yeah, a lot. A lot.
But that's just the author life. Like, I think that we all have these
Hmm.
ideas, and you just go, all right, I'm just going to like write a little bit and have that idea, get it
Oh,
out for a bit, and then like, do we return to it? Maybe. We'll
eh,
see.
maybe 10,000 words in. Oh, I'm gonna close it for a little while and come back to it
Yeah,
later. I
come
think I
back
got
to
about four or five like that.
yeah, yeah. And I think
Like I've
that's
written
perfect.
10,000 and just stop.
God, it's just like it's like a sketch of a drawing. Like artists,
Hmm.
sketch out different things, and either it turns into a full body of work, or just sits there. It'll always be there to come back to. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work that you've put
yeah,
into the offerings that you've put out. So it's
yeah, yeah.
amazing. It's amazing to see.
Thank you.
So I'm
Hmm.
wondering if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and where you grew up.
I was born here in Australia. I actually was born in a country town in South Australia. So
Nice.
I went from living in a small town that had, when I was there, 10,000 people to then moving to the Gold Coast, which I had a lot more people,
Yeah, just a bit.
just a bit. And now I live in Sydney, and that's even more people.
Oh, Sydney, the biggest city in Australia.
Yeah, the biggest city. It's crazy sometimes,
Yeah, yeah,
but
super crazy.
no, I quite love it.
That's good.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was born here, and I married a man from Europe, so it was different. That's where my last name comes from.
So did you meet your husband in Sydney or before you relocated to the big apple, so to speak?
I met him on a dating site.
Oh,
So he was
goodness.
based in Sydney. I was based on the Gold Coast. We connected, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to meet this man. Like, he lives in Sydney.
Yeah.
And then he drove all the way from Sydney to the Gold Coast to meet me. And we spent uh, a month, 6 weeks on the Gold Coast. And
Wow.
then he went back home. And then, yeah, it was just back and forth from then.
And then that's how it all
We're now
started.
on 10 years now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a
I
long
mean,
time.
that's a
Yeah.
romance novel waiting to happen. That's so beautiful. I love to hear that. I'm a bit of a sucker for origin stories with romance and things
Mm,
like that. So the rest is history. And so you live in
hmm.
Sydney with your children, is that right? You've got a couple of
Yeah, I got three. I
yeah.
got three under six. So I had three in 3 years. My
Wow.
eldest wasn't even three when the youngest one was born.
Oh my goodness. And that would have been around, if I'm getting my calculations right, was that like around
COVID.
yeah, geez.
Yeah, so I had the first one in the end of 2018, then the
Yep.
second one just before COVID hit in 2020,
Hmm.
and then I had my last one just at the end of COVID in 2021.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time in lockdown with babies.
Babies. Baby crazy.
Yeah, babies.
Did you find much time? Well, I'm guessing you did find some time to get into some of your writing projects and things like that when you were stuck in place
Yeah.
in lockdown.
Well, I think I published my first book in June 2021, but it was already like I would say about a quarter written when I
Yep.
picked it back up again in 2020. So, yeah,
Ah, there we go. So the beginnings of it were already starting to
yeah.
take place in that time, in the crazy time
Hmm.
in our history. And Sydney and Melbourne, I
Yeah.
think, were like hit pretty hard with the lockdown rules and all that stuff. So I know that that was something that helped me kind of clear out all the other noise in some ways where you couldn't really move too much. So writing became more of like a central focus for me. But you would have had not only the writing stuff, but all the children to be looking after in that time. Oh my goodness. So I'm curious
Yeah, yeah,
about
it's all good.
um, what a day in your life looks like slash week and how you start to plan your writing and all the author life stuff.
So pretty much I work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So pretty much it's I go to work and then I come home and I deal with the children. And once the children are in bed, I can sit down for half an hour to an hour and write. That's why my writing this year and last year is very slow
Ah,
because
that's
I went back to work
yeah.
last year. But it's
Wow. You went back to work.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Absolutely. So you're working 5 days a week with three children and writing. That's
Yeah, yeah.
how you get stuff done. I think, the saying
Yeah.
is like, if you want someone to do something, give it to a busy person or whatever.
Yeah, my boss said the same thing the other day to me.
Oh
She
my.
wanted something done. She goes, Kristen can do it. I was like, yep. And I came in to work with it the next day. And she goes, yep, you want something done, give it to a busy person. They'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. And you get
I
shit
laughed
done.
so much
Yeah. It's also
because I
like,
was like, she's not wrong.
she's not wrong. She's not wrong. But it's like, oh my God,
Not wrong.
so much work. But I can see that it also works with your process of
It does.
getting the books out because you have, as you said, five,
Quite a few.
yeah, quite a few titles to your name.
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah,
find
yeah.
that every day it's like the days that you're working after the kids have gone to bed, it's writing time.
Mm-hmm. At the moment, I'm editing a short story that won't come out till next year, but I'm in the process of editing it.
Yep, yep.
That's, I don't like editing. I'm getting there.
I have to agree with
I
you.
prefer writing over editing.
I
I get so bored with editing.
Yeah, oh, totally. Because you're like, oh my God, now I've got to go back and redo that. But I just want to like
Yeah.
continue something new.
I read a line last night and I'm like, that's so cheesy. Like, oh my God, did I really write that?
But like, it's got to come out. If you've got the idea, you just want to like
Yeah.
put it out there and get it, I don't know, on the page. Are you a
Yeah.
pantser or a plotter?
I am a pantser. I can't plot. So I'm uh probably talk about it a little bit later, but I'm
Yeah.
co-writing a book with my sister and she's a plotter. She's like, I need the plot. I need to know the whole story. I'm like, but I get bored because I know the ending. I'm like I can know bits, but with my first two books, I plotted it and then I just put that plot away and I just wrote. And then I found out that like I found that book years later and went, that's not how that book ended at
No,
all. Like
no.
not at all.
Wow. That's so interesting because like when I meet people that are plotters, and I mean, I think that the pantsers are in the majority. And I'm also a pantser, I have to say. I
Yeah.
just can't wrap my head around. Like, I know that maybe I'll have a loose plan, but like the plotters, I appreciate them. Appreciate them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's not my reality.
No.
It's just
I I
crazy.
like I like I like it when I don't know what's going to happen. Like I know if you're going to write a sequel to something, you have to answer questions from the previous book.
Yep.
So I have that. Like I got a few good betas that tell me, oh, this needs to be answered. This needs to be answered. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, gotcha. I'll
Yeah.
add those, but I don't want to add like massive plot points because then I don't know. Like I get bored. I
Yeah.
just get bored.
Exactly. No, for sure. And I think you do need other people to like check your work to see and make sure that like you're hitting the bits that you've put out there because I know that probably I'm the same as you with our minds are just trying to think of the next thing in continuing the
Hmm.
story that sometimes we're like, oh, wait, actually that's kind of like not connecting to what I wrote before.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think yeah, for my new books that I'm going to write, I have to write myself like a book Bible and write the characters, what they look like, and eye color and hair color, because I think it was Crystal noticed that the hair color changed of one of my characters, and I went, I didn't notice that.
I
I'm like, I
swear.
did not notice that.
She's so good at that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but you need
She's like,
someone
is
to
she
do
meant to
that.
be blonde or brunette? I'm like, I don't know. I think she's meant to be blonde.
It's just that kind of thing where you're just like, well, hair color doesn't matter, okay? It's the story. I'm here focused in the
It's a
story.
story. Okay, fine. Maybe she's a
Oh,
shapeshifter. It's all good.
that's right. She just had like her hair done. She just wanted to go through a
Yeah,
thing. See, we change our hair color all the time. But oh my God, no, I love it.
absolutely.
I think you might have answered this next question for me, or maybe I jumped ahead by asking about the pantser and plotter
Okay.
thing. But the one
Yeah.
where, yeah, like when you write, what does your process look like? But if you want to extrapolate a bit more about that, I'd love to hear.
Oh, what does it look like? My process. It's usually if I've got 10 minutes, I write. If I've got half an hour in the evening, I write or I do something bookish.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
about
for
it.
sure. It's just whatever you feel like doing. I think that probably
Yeah, yeah.
you're quite intrinsic in just wanting to get stuff done. I'm guessing throughout the day when you're working or maybe spending time with the kids, like you're if there's downtime in that time, you're probably thinking about what you want to do when you sit down and write. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've got a couple of projects on the work. So it's like, which one do I want to start today? Oh, I want to do the rockstar romance or the MC one or the full fantasy. It's like, which one do I want to go right?
I love that.
Because I got a
That's
few
really cool.
different genres. Like I can't stick to one genre either. I found that I get bored in a particular genre.
Yep.
So I switch. However I feel like writing, that's what I write.
That's amazing. And I think you're probably one of the first people that I've talked to that does that, I will say. I think
Yeah.
that, yeah, absolutely. Because I feel like I struggle to go between. I have dabbled, like maybe in 2022, I started a romance novel just, because it's an idea floating around my head. But then I had to stop it and put it down. And then, wrote another short story and got back into the fantasy universe. So, that's
Yeah,
probably
okay.
I wish I had the ability like you to be able to go, I want to do this, I want to do that, just because I'm just going to do it.
Yeah. Well, Conflictus and Contentment is a paranormal romance with superpowers and magical creatures, but then there's Revelations. It's like a medieval mystery romance, no superpowers, no mythical creatures, just based in the medieval times.
Yeah.
But then you have Infernum that went straight back to being paranormal. That's a dark romance. That's probably the darkest book I've ever written.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
my mum read it and she was just like, Kristen, those scenes, they're a bit extreme. I was like, yeah,
Mums will call us
probably
out
not the
on
kind of
that.
book. Probably not the kind of book you should read. Um, and then I'm pretty sure the Dahlia is like a contemporary romance.
Yeah.
And then I just finished a short story, which is a it's a it's a hook retelling, but it's
Yes.
K-pop inspired.
That's so
So
interesting. I love
like,
that. I did not see that crossover happening.
nah, but
That's
that's not.
amazing.
I got at the end of last year. I got kind of like obsessed with K-pop, so I was like listening to it, and I'm like, I'm gonna write the story based on this.
So
And
good.
yeah,
What kind of K-pop bands did inspire? I know that's probably a question later on, but if we want to get into that, because I love the idea of doing something so polar opposite. I didn't
well,
even
it's
think about that.
I've got like a girls band and a boys band, so I'm really big on like Stray Kids.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're my number one, but then I
Yep.
also love Blackpink. So I was kind
Yeah.
of like those two kind of bands going together.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then like they're not really competing, but like Wendy's in one group and then Hook and Pan are in the other group, and then they kind of owned by the same companies or run by the same company.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
That's awesome. And so that's going to be a short story that's the current short story that you're working on now.
Yeah, so that one will come out in the Once Upon a Fairy Tale anthology. So they're like
Yep.
October 2026 is when it will be released to the public.
All right. We heard it here
But I'm working
first.
on it now, so I know it's done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You put yourself a date that you can aim
Yeah.
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
bit like that.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. It
God.
will, if people wanted to read it before that, betas will go out before it's finished. So
Yep.
it's due to be edited next month.
Yep.
So
Nice. So
like
it's
properly
really
edited.
it's coming along nicely then. And do you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
any idea about like maybe what the cover would look like? I have to ask because I'm a bit of a cover
Oh, I
nerd.
already have it. I already bought it. I bought it a while ago because I was like, I love that cover. That cover will work. So it's like blue
Mm.
with like these gold embellishments and like red smoke up the
Oh,
sides. The title's still switching because I'm not 100% sold on the title, so
totally. Yep, yep. That will
but I
come
love
into
it.
play soon enough.
Such a
That's
good.
beautiful. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it. I love all the
Yeah.
covers that you've made. Especially I really am drawn to the Infernum one. I've just got the image of it on my screen as well. So I'll make sure to put that
Actually, I
in
think
the. Oh, yes, if you've got it.
I've, I don't have. It's the one where like the not resale one.
Oh, that's all
I was like,
right.
it's always on my desk. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
and I'll put a
blurry.
screen on I'll put a picture in the video version of this as well. But for the people that are just listening, it is a picture. So it's a dark image and it's the back
Mm.
of a male figure and there's lots of tattoos around his
Oh, it's
shoulders.
the front actually. Yeah, he's
Sorry, the
looking
front.
at you.
He's looking at
But
you.
the I blocked out the guy's face because I was like, that's not what Zayd looks like to me, and I don't want people to think that that's what he looks like. So out his face goes.
That is so interesting
But
that
the
you say
body
that.
wise is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not a big fan of faces on books because I'm like, that's not what they look like. But body wise, yeah, go for it.
I think that is fascinating that you said that because my last interview that I did with Rachel O'Rourke, she said the same thing about the
Yeah.
faces on the covers. And I was like, I get you. I so
Hmm.
understand that because also I think it's good to have a bit of ambiguity as well. Because even like, the way that the cover looks in particular with Infernum, you don't know exactly what the skin color exactly looks like or, the facial features and
Nah.
things. So it's good to keep it, you
Yeah.
know that it's a figure and it's a male figure and then there's the important parts with like the wings in the back and the fire and things like
Hmm.
that.
The
So
fire, yeah.
yeah, the fire. I think it's done really well. So, I mean, all of the
Thank
covers.
you. I made that one.
Oh, did you? Are you
I
into
make I make
yeah.
all I make all my covers. The only one I haven't made is the new one for the K-pop retelling. But I make all
Nice.
my covers.
Because you're a graphic
Yeah, I
designer, is that
started
right?
them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just did
Nice.
Gemma Black's special edition for Rare. That
Oh,
one is probably my
wow.
favorite cover, yeah.
I'll insert that in a bit. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I'm
The
sure I could
skull, I love that one.
get into back into you, into
Hmm.
your stuff.
Yeah.
If we go back to the writing stuff, I know I could talk
Hmm.
about covers for days. In your
Yeah.
opinion, what do you find is perhaps the hardest part about writing versus what's the most enjoyable?
Hardest part about writing is sometimes I sit there and I can't think of anything to write. Sometimes it's just like it's a writer's block. So I'll have to go back to like the chapter before
Hmm.
and then I read it through and then I'm like, oh, okay, now it's gonna go here.
Then it
But if I just
happens.
sit there and I read it, nah,
Nah,
nah, doesn't work.
how interesting.
Um,
Yeah.
but I think the most enjoyable part is when you're writing and you just can't stop. Like I don't even like if you're in that moment and you're like, oh yeah, this is great, this is working.
Yeah.
I don't even stop to edit it. Like if
Yep.
I know there's spelling mistakes, I don't care. Just keep going. Because if I
Agreed.
stop that train from moving, it's gone. I can't get it back.
Absolutely. And you can't edit a blank page. You just need to get it going.
Just go.
Just go for it. And I love that. I love that stream of
Yeah.
consciousness. And do you find that like you sit down to write and maybe, and I know this is probably a pantser thing too, but you sit there, you've got an idea, and then towards the end of your writing sprint, you were like, wow, I actually didn't think I would write that. Or that was totally
Yeah.
different. Does that
Mm-hmm.
happen to you all the time?
Mm-hmm. I had some scenes, definitely in Infernum, and I sat there back and went, whoa, my mind actually went there.
Yeah.
Like some scenes, I found them like for a dark romance reader, they might not be that dark, but because I don't usually write that genre, I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty dark for me.
Yeah. And I think maybe it came from a place of maybe because you were getting into that character and the scene around it, you're like, well,
Yeah.
it's just going to come out of my head and it's just going to flow. And I
Mm-hmm.
love that. I really appreciate your style of your creativity like that, because I'm
Thanks.
kind of the
Yeah.
same. I just want to put it out there. And I like what you say about not editing as you go along, or not
Mm-hmm.
checking for the spelling mistakes and all of that, just to go for it, because you can always come back. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just going to be like, bam,
Oh yeah.
okay, I'm done, I'm publishing.
No,
No,
no, absolutely not. Because you might even go back and reread it and go, that sentence doesn't make sense.
no.
No. What did I even try and say here?
Oh yeah. It's to me all the time. And so,
Yeah.
reflecting on perhaps what's the most enjoyable part of writing, what's your perspective on that?
That would be like just the when you're in it and you just can't stop writing. You can't, oh, I just got to get this scene written because it's in my head.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. I think that's the best part of writing as well. When you're on a roll and you're like,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
totally in a new world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I love.
Yeah, I very much am with you there. I think we're the same person. With our approach to writing, just to go for it. And I think creating
Yeah,
stories
let's
are
go for it.
it's the most important part. And I think that I had to also, when I was getting the confidence to start writing, I'm a very slow reader as well, but I think there is like a big difference between the art of storytelling and just being like a consumer of literary novels and things like that, that a lot
Mm,
of energy gets put into the creative process that has to be learnt and has to be learnt by doing. So I can imagine lots of your creative process is just doing and intrinsically
yeah,
going
yeah.
for it. Mm-hmm.
I find that my creative process too, it really helps if I have the cover already made.
Yeah.
So I have this idea, like the second one for Infernum, the cover's already made and I have it sitting on my desktop. So I look at it all the time to try and boost ideas on where to go. Like I got parts, the beginning has started, but I'm like, okay, if I constantly look at it, then it's fine. It
Amazing.
encourages me to keep going.
Again, I think we're the same person because I'm not
You do
even.
it too.
I do it too. Like I've made a cover for this book that I'm working on, and look, I think it might change, but I actually have my friends at work know that I've got a picture of this cover at work on my desk, one of
Hmm.
my pictures, and sometimes I'll just sit there. Yes, I might work, so I can't do anything, but I'll just sit there and just think about it. So I see you,
Yeah,
Chris.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
exactly. A
it's
lot of the times it's not the final cover. It's just like a mock-up of a cover. This is kind of the rough idea I'm going for. Like the cover that I finished with for Infernum isn't the one that I started with
yeah.
because I ended up changing it. But
Ah,
the
interesting.
man and the wings was on the original cover, but I
Yeah.
was like, he can't just be up the top. He has
Yep.
to be the whole page.
And it works beautifully
So
on
yeah,
the
it
page.
works.
Oh,
Yeah.
it really does scream darkness. And I know, yeah, okay,
Oh, it
there's some,
does. Yeah.
on the nose things with, of course, fire and black and all that, but it's how it's put together, which is what you've done, and the choice of the
Mm,
font and things like that. I mean, I'm a graphic designer as well, so I think that's why we see
yeah.
each other. And that's why we are so
Yeah.
inspired by visuals, because
Oh, yes, I'm a visual person, 100%.
exactly. And I think that's where it's just come across so well. So I can't wait to see
Yeah.
more covers that are coming out your way. I know you got this one made for the K-pop inspired story, but
Yeah, it was like $20 and I was like, that's perfect. I
yeah.
don't need to make one. That's perfect.
Well, that's right too, because sometimes we do need to take a step back from doing everything ourselves, I think, as
Mm-hmm.
indie authors. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you and I are the same with we want to do all our work, for the social media platforms and things like that. But when we do find some other stuff out there that people have done, or, stock images and things like that, it's like, oh, I just want to use that. I just want to use that instead.
Mm-hmm.
Because we do so
Sometimes people make covers and I'm like, it's just stunning. It's just stunning. I'll buy that.
exactly, because we got an eye for it.
Yeah.
And we're like, I appreciate you,
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what you're doing there.
Your
And I do.
work? Yep, I love it.
Yep. Yep. No,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it. So I would love to know what encouraged you to start writing in the first place.
So I just finished, I remember it was like 2017, I think, and I just finished reading a book and it was It was a young adult book. The girl had like, she was a witch and it was based in New York. And I loved the fact that I could go and search the places. So
Oh,
I've never been to New York, but they were
no.
talking about certain streets and the Met, and then they were talking about this castle in Central Park. And I was like, I'm searching all this up. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want to write a book like that where people actually go and kind of search where I'm talking about. So Conflictus is um based in Sydney. It's based in Darling Harbour. And I do talk about Western Sydney, but I don't name places.
Hmm.
And I did make up my own kind of names for places as well because I
Mm.
was like, I don't want it to be fully in the real world,
Yep.
but I also don't want it out of the real world.
Yeah.
And then I remember my husband and I, well, we were still dating then, we went on a road trip. And then I was like, we were in the car, and I was like, oh, how cool would it be for this girl with white armor and fire for hair standing in Darling Harbour with a sword that's made of lightning? And my husband's like, write about it. So I did that. I started writing about it. And then
Yes.
out came Conflictus and out came Contentment. And yeah,
Yep.
it was awesome.
That is amazing.
Really
Representing
awesome.
for
Yeah.
Australia too. And, because as you
Yeah.
said, the young adult book that you read was set in New York. And often I think popular novels, if they are set in, I guess, the low fantasy world, Australia just kind of gets like pushed to the side, I think.
Push to the side. Yeah.
I don't know. I think on a global
I don't think
scale.
I've
No.
I don't think I've read any that are here. I think H.M. Hodgson writes one in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah.
I think I read that somewhere. I'm not 100% sure.
I'll have to look that up. Yeah, yeah.
I
And
think
like,
it's Witches or Relics or something.
and even
I
like, I
might be wrong.
guess,
I might be wrong.
no, well, there's not many. And Tomorrow When the War Began is
No, no, no.
probably one example, maybe, but that, I guess that is
I remember
Australian.
reading that in school.
Yeah, yeah. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I
It's
remember reading that in school.
yeah, it's not really fantasy anyway, it's just dystopian. But true
Yeah.
fantasy, I know that the aesthetics of fantasy in like the quote unquote real world tend to kind of evoke or like be similar to like medieval aesthetics or I don't know, like mid-century or that kind of stuff. So maybe that's why cities like London and New York or Rome are really popular with that. But I'm pleased to
Mm.
hear that Sydney has been given
Yeah,
the
yeah.
a bit of a shout out for that because why not?
Yeah.
Not. Yep.
I'd like to do another one. I would like to write another one.
Yeah, you could do it
Maybe on
back
the
in.
Gold Coast next time.
Yes, I was just about to say. Yeah, do it,
Maybe on the Gold Coast.
because the weather's great.
I live there a lot too, so I know a lot of places there.
I think that would be awesome. Let's see that happen. So that can be
Mm.
another idea. Add that to the list
Yeah.
of your work
I'll
in
add it to
progress.
the list.
Add it to that growing list, please, because I'll be there.
Yeah,
I want to read
list is
it.
massive.
The list is
List is
massive.
massive.
What have I done? Now I'm just adding to this. I'm adding to your pain. Oh my
It's a
goodness.
good idea
Well,
though.
well, there we go. We're just brainstorming. We're just, having a chat.
Yeah.
So, getting into some of your stuff and your catalog of books, I know we talked a little bit about some of the stuff to do with
Hmm.
your work, but I would love to discuss more about your projects. And as I said before, I am really impressed with your catalog of books and the
Yeah.
series that you have to your name. And I'm wondering how you think your writing has evolved from your first publication released to perhaps your latest or even your latest book that's not yet released. What are the
Um,
changes?
I think the changes is I'm not so scared to have my own style of writing.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was like, it has to be perfect. It has to be like this. And um, I had my sister and my mum edit the first one for me. Like they gave me their ideas, and I found that I lost my voice a little
Yep.
in them helping me. And I go
Yeah.
back and read it now, and I'm like, that's not how I would have written it. But I took their advice, and I was like, um, for the
Mm.
next one, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to take their advice on it, and I'm just going to write it. And people then ended up saying that that was my best book. Like they felt that
Wow.
the story was more real and they could connect more to it.
Yep.
And I was like, maybe one day I'll go back and I'll rewrite, like re-edit Conflictus and Contentment in my own voice.
How interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The confidence to get out there and just write it without maybe input from your mum and sister. But that's really interesting
Yeah.
again because my mum
It was
had,
like,
oh yeah, keep
yeah.
going. Sorry, keep going, keep going.
Like they had different views. So how my mum read it, like changed it, was not the same way that my sister changed it. So I was getting two different points of view, and I was like, which one do I go with?
That's really
So
hard.
yeah. Yeah.
So you just had to really make that decision based on yourself. And it's hard when you've got like two big, well, important people of your in your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to disappoint you, mum, but like I prefer sister's point of view, or and they'll be like, why
Yeah,
would you go
yeah.
with
Or I
that?
preferred my mum's way of writing it this way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
I do love conflictors and contentment, but I
yeah,
think maybe eventually down the track I will probably go back and rewrite it in my own style
nice.
because I did change a lot of it to suit their styles over my own.
Oh, how interesting. And I'm sure, people loved like what you've written as from the get-go,
Mm.
but as you feel that your voice has changed, and I'm sure also you've got a lot more experience with publishing, your voice has changed and
Oh
become
yeah.
more confident. Yeah. No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so I also would love to know the themes that keep coming back into your writing in particular, if there are
So
any.
the, there's the primary one. So that ended up being my slogan, which was finding love in the darkness. So every book
Mm,
that I have, there is some dark feature that the heroine or the male lead has to fight through, and they find love within it.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I found like every single one of my books, like the Dahlia, not yet, but the following one from the Dahlia is going to have some dark aspect, and they're going to find love in the end.
I love it.
So it's like all of them have it. All of them have it. Even like the K-pop one, I wrote it and I was like, oh, there it is. There's the dark aspects. That's what
There's a
happens.
dark axe. I love that.
Really, that's like the central theme in
Yeah,
all
I love
my
it.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would say like dark romance is also something that is a constant. Do you think you'd ever write a book that isn't centered around any dark romance or things like that?
It's not really dark romance per se. It's
Mm.
like, I don't know, there's just dark elements that they have to fight through, and
Yep.
that's where the romance comes through.
Yep. Yep. Totally. Yeah. I
Yeah.
get what you mean there. Yeah. Would you ever steer away from, oh, actually, no, I was going to say, like, I don't even envision myself writing a fantasy novel that doesn't have any romance in it. I feel like it is something that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
kind of
something I like to
exciting.
read, so that's something I like to write.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I
you
I have
definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I do have a plotted it's a YA. I don't know if I'll ever write it, but I don't think it has a romance in it.
How
But
interesting.
it's kind of like a take kind of it's like a game style like Hunger Games, but a little bit different.
Yep.
But it has no romance in it. Not that I kind of jotted down. So I never know. It might come out. We'll see.
Kristen, we'll have to
I'm
see.
not really a YA person. Maybe I can make it more adult.
Yeah, well, that it too. I mean, like, I feel like Squid Game. I don't know whether you've seen Squid Game on
I love
Netflix.
Squid Game.
Yeah, I was
I
going to say, I'm
love Squid
sure you
Game.
love Squid Game. But yeah, like that, I think has, I'm just trying to remember if it has any much romance, and really not much at all.
No.
Nah, and I think it's a pure example where it doesn't need to have any. I know this is a TV show, but I'd be curious to see that idea that you've got for a game situation that's similar to Hunger Games come out. So that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another idea to put out there.
Yeah, it's in my book. It is in my book, and it's yeah, it's definitely there.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I want to write it as a YA because I don't know if it
Yeah.
will suit a YA. The
Hmm.
elements in it are a bit extreme.
Yep. Yep. That's fine. No, that's awesome. That makes a good story.
And I'd
So
have to think, I'm like, would I
yeah,
let my 13-year-old read it? Probably not.
probably not. That's the hard part about
No,
it.
if I'm thinking probably not, then it has to go a little bit older than a young
So
adult.
you say that you have a book, is that right? That you write your ideas like a notebook, one book that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
write.
yeah.
Nice. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's like the treasured book
Yeah,
because
it's hidden in the cupboard.
hidden in the cupboard, so no one else can
Yeah.
find it but you.
No, no, it just looks like an ordinary notebook, but it's hidden in my cupboard.
That's awesome. Because I
And
don't
it
have
might be
anything like
just
that.
like,
Yeah.
no, I highly recommend it because sometimes I just get an idea. Sometimes it's like a title. Okay, this title, and then this like idea, and then it's just dot points. This is what this book should have in it. Not start to finish, just, oh, this is the cool element. This would be really cool to have. That
So
kind of stuff.
interesting. I think that's awesome. I'm going to adopt that now because I need
Yeah.
somewhere to put these ideas down. What do I do when I get an
Yeah,
idea?
yeah.
I just whip out my phone and put it on my notes app and then I forget
Yeah, yeah.
where it
I
is.
was doing that and I had a few, so I was like, I'm gonna get a book and I'm gonna jot them all down. And I actually realized I had way more than I thought I did.
And you take it everywhere.
Way more. Yeah. No, it's usually like if I have the idea, I'm out, I write on my phone, get home, read in the book. And then I delete
Smart.
it off my phone.
Yeah, great. Okay, I'm sold. You've inspired me. I've got to do it.
Yeah.
Another excuse for a notebook.
Otherwise I'd have a million notes.
Yeah, that's it too. No, that's awesome. I
Hmm.
really appreciate that advice too. Thank you for giving me that
Hmm.
advice.
No worries.
Speaking of advice, into the next question that I have. Um,
Hmm.
what advice would you give for other authors that want to write books collaboratively? Because I'm looking at the
Um,
Dahlia novella, and is that the book that you wrote with your sister?
with my sister, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
It was eventful. It was eventful. Because I was writing quicker. So what I like, so when I say collaborative, you usually people write like one chapter and then another person writes another chapter. My sister, uh, she can't work out the bones of the book. Even though we plotted the novella and two books to go after the novella.
Yeah.
So we've plotted three books entirely, and she still can't see what happens.
Wow,
So what
okay.
I do is I write the bones of the book, but I leave out detail because she is great when it comes to detail.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm just like, I'll write like they went up the stairs and she'll write then the detail of why they're going up the stairs.
It works.
And usually when it comes to like the naughty scenes, I just leave in brackets, your turn.
Your turn.
You write it. You do
That's
it.
perfect. Yeah, just send it back that way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because I have been told that I write a pretty good naughty scene, but I'm just like, your turn. You try, you do it. Because
There's an art
she
to it.
says if I write it, it's cringe. Because she's like, you're my younger sister. It's just cringy for me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, how do you think I feel about you?
Yeah, you just got to put it,
Um,
like, just got to like put that out of your mind. It's like, okay, I'm just working with
yeah, yeah,
someone here.
yeah, yeah.
Because
But it was
that's,
it was it
yeah,
was loads of fun. It was loads of fun. We are
yeah.
working now on the Secrets of the Dahlia, which is the book one. That's don't know when it's going to come out because we're very slow at the
It's all right.
moment.
You got all the time in the
I
world,
think
really.
I think there's 12,000 words written on it,
Wow.
and we're not even like, I think we're four dot points
Yep.
into like 100 for that book. So it's got to be a big book.
That's going to be a massive book. And that's how it starts too.
Yeah,
You're like,
for
oh,
only one.
I'm just going to write a novella and, it will just be, yeah, 10,000 word situation. But then it gets to, the 10,000
Oh, it
word
was
point.
20.
Oh,
We
20.
were
Mm.
we The Dahlia was 20,
Hmm.
20,000, and that was an effort to cut it back because I think we wrote it and it was like 20, well over 20, and we're like, oh, we need to cut this back. We need to cut
Yeah.
it back because it went in the Love on the Beach anthology and the cutoff was 20,000. So we were like, we have to get rid of some.
Like, that's hard. That's hard. So, what
Yeah, it
kind
was
of things
hard.
did make the cut versus what was removed,
Um,
if there's any
Key
spoilers?
elements, like key points that will tie into the next books.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
Dahlia is written about Jane, who, but the next two books, The Secrets of the Dahlia, is written about her great great granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
Jane's story is very important. So we were just trying to think of what scenes can we keep
Mm. To
that
set it
will
up.
show the friendship and that will show the love that she had with her partner and the trials and tribulations that she actually had to go through as
Yeah.
the Duchess. Um, But we were just like, oh, but this would be cool. No, we can't write it. We don't have enough words.
So that will be a future plan to maybe talk about some other things that have left out of the book,
Yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
they'll make it
So we
serious.
what we decided to do instead of extending onto the Dahlia was in the Secrets of the Dahlia, the grandmother's going to have a journal. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be journal entries, and that's how the bits that we left out will go, and you'll find them in
That will
those
be like the
ones.
snapshot of like, just so you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
this is a background to this situation, or that's a background on that character, in case you're wondering. Yeah, that's
yeah,
perfect. I think that's a perfect literary
yeah.
device to connect those things together.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's like flashback moments.
Yeah, because you're the first person that I've spoken to that I'm aware of, and maybe some of the other people that I've spoken to haven't revealed if they've, or I haven't done my research enough to go back and look if they've written with someone else. But you're the first person that I've spoken to that has written with another person. And it's one of my dreams that I would love to do, but it's something that kind of like intimidates me in a little
It's
way.
scary. It is
Yeah.
scary. It's I think di writing with my sister, I think it's easy because I know my sister.
Yep,
But when I think about doing it with another writer, I'm terrified
I'm the same.
because I was like, what if you don't like my opinions?
Exactly. That's exactly. It's like, oh my God, what if I don't like match your vibe, or, my
Yeah,
writing is
that's what
not
I'm.
enough for you?
I write like I write very simpleton, very like I don't use big words.
Yeah,
One more so if my brain doesn't think of big words when I write. But and I also
fine.
don't like it when I'm reading a book and I'm like, oh shit, what does that word mean? And I have to
Oh
go
yeah.
Google it.
Yep.
I hate that. I have read one book series. I loved the book series, but I had to have a dictionary next to me because I didn't understand half the words she said.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm just like, I like easy reads. Like, don't use big
Yeah.
words because half the time I don't know what they are.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm with you there too, because again, that goes to the what I was just talking about at the start. There's an art to the storytelling that is where probably where our minds kind of live, to put it that way.
Yeah,
We focus on telling the story, and perhaps like, the grammar and the vocabulary and even the
hold on
spelling
for
and
a
things like
second.
that. That's like second priority. We pretty much did talk about the K-pop inspired and Captain Hook retelling,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which was awesome. Like, I'm fascinated by that. And I think
Yeah.
Stray Kids in particular seems to be like one of the most popular boy K-pop
Right
bands.
now, yeah.
Yeah, because Laura
They
Catherine
like
is interested in them too. Yep.
um I think they overtook I think it's BTS. Like they're bigger
Oh,
than them now.
wow. So
So
that's
I was
why.
like, wow.
So it's a good move as well from a marketing perspective
Mm.
to be putting, something that relates to a really popular
Yeah.
band. And
Bands,
also with
yeah.
like the Captain Hook part and the Peter Pan style, would there have been any other, and this is maybe a curveball question, but would there have been any other fantasy, like fairy tale sort of retellings that could have made the cut instead of Peter Pan, or was it always going to be Captain Hook?
No.
Always going to be that.
See, I always wanted to do a Captain Hook retelling, but I tossed and turned on a lot of different ideas for that book and nothing stuck.
No.
And then I was like, I just sat at my computer and stared at a blank page for ages. And then I was listening to Stray Kids at one point, and then I was stuck on Pinterest.
Hmm.
And then a picture of one of their band members, Hyunjin, came up with red hair, and I was like, Captain Hook can have red hair. And then it just went, just just went. So Captain Hook has red hair.
Yep.
Peter Pan has blue hair. Wendy has
Ah,
purple hair. Tink has green hair.
so
Yeah, they
good.
all go full different color hair.
Good. I
And
love
this
it.
is yeah,
I love wild
just
hair.
came out of nowhere.
Yep. Yep. I think that's
Yeah, it's really
perfect.
cool.
So that's how it started, pretty much from a photo, but also from music as well.
Music is a big inspiration. Like the book Revelations
Yep.
was inspired by Lindsay Sterling,
The
the
violinist.
violinist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her music was on repeat while I wrote that book.
Amazing. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I love
It was
that.
easy because it was instrumental, so it was really,
Always said
really
that.
easy to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit like that too, where I will create playlists for the books that I'm writing and even the ones that I've got published. There'll be a little playlist too, which helps with that. And then
Mm,
I think it also helps a little bit with like social media marketing, where the songs that I'll use to post and advertise for the book will be related to what's on the playlist and things like that. But
yeah, I never thought
also,
about doing that way.
please do.
I'm gonna
I
have
would
to
love
think.
to
Yeah.
see, yeah, a playlist about
Because
that. Yeah.
Infernum, like my what I listened to was Bad Omens and Sleep Token. So
Oh,
it was
yes,
like
yes. Hmm.
that they inspired because Zayd is in a band and so is Dominique. So it's like that kind of grungy music really inspired that character.
Yeah, definitely. And with Sleep Token in particular, I love how they all, like the band members are all like, they all wear masks. Is that right? Like you don't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you don't know the
I love that
identities.
aspect.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind
that's
of
another.
like fantasy in a way. I
It
love
is
that aspect
fantasy.
about
That's
him.
what gets me. I think that they're
Hmm.
great because of that. So please make a Kristen
I'm
Dovnik
gonna do
playlist.
that.
Please do, so that we
Yeah.
can link it to Conflictus and to Revelation and Infernum. And do you reckon there's any books, sorry, books, music that's associated with the Dahlia?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Not
That's
off the
another
top of my
curveball.
head. Not off the top of my head.
You have to think about that one and
I'd have
see.
to think about it. Ask my
Yeah.
sister. She
Yeah,
she probably know
ask your
more.
sister. Yeah, does she get inspired by music the same way, or are you guys
Not
completely different?
really.
Yeah, you're different.
We're so different. But the only thing we have in common is our taste in books.
Yep, yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Usually if
wonder.
she likes it,
Yeah.
I'll like it. If she doesn't like the book, I don't even bother.
She's the older one, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's always like I'm an older sister and my younger sister.
Yeah.
We do cross over in some of our music tastes, and the one thing that kind of has strangely overlapped, because I never thought she'd be interested in like Charlie XCX, but the Brat album, I
Oh
don't know whether
yeah.
you know, that's like taken off by storm. And I've been a fan for a while, and I was like, oh, actually, you like more of the electronic
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
stuff. Well, it's good to see, but otherwise, I think our interests are completely
Our
different. Like,
music is totally different.
yeah.
Totally different.
My sister loves like
She
the
sticks
Jonas
to like
Brothers.
almost one genre. Yeah,
Oh,
she listens
really?
to like one genre, and I'm like, I'm a mood listener. I'll listen to whatever
Yes.
I'm in the mood for.
Totally. No, I'm the same. I mean, I'm sure there's a bit of sleep token in there for me, but then it goes straight to back to, Charlie XCX and FKA Twigs and some other strange. And then of course, with your
Mhm.
perspective too, K-pop and Stray Kids.
Mm,
Yep, and Blackpink.
yeah, I listen to anything.
Yeah, me
Anything.
too.
I'm a mood listener, I'm a mood reader, and I'm a mood writer. Like
It's the vibe.
whatever I'm in the mood for.
It's the creative vibes that come through. And that's why we're creative people, and that's why we're pantsers, and that's why we're
Hmm.
storytellers. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what we want to do, and that's what we put our energy
yeah,
into. So it's amazing.
absolutely.
Well, I should make sure that your daughter gets to her party.
Gets to her party, otherwise she'll
So
come knock on my door
she'll
again in a
she'll
minute.
crack it and say, "Why is
Yeah,
Monica
she's like,
keeping you on the
Mummy.
phone?"
She's been wanting this party all day. She's like, is it 2 o'clock yet? I'm like, not yet, honey.
So
Not yet.
soon. It's so soon. But to wrap it up, I would love for you to just give us an insight into where people can find you on social media, and if you also have any book events coming up that you might be attending.
So social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and hashtag for all three of them is author Kristen Dovnik
Perfect.
on all three. Doesn't change.
I'll put that there. Yeah,
um,
you got that
yeah,
name.
super
You got
easy.
that name.
As soon as I created it in 2021, I was like, that's it, hashtag for all of them.
Yes, so good.
Yeah,
So good you did that.
consistent.
It's your name as well. Like, not many
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have your last name. Well, as like MG
No,
Hunt is always like, it's I'll have to
there's a
compete.
few.
There's a few, and I also have to compete with like other businesses, like construction business
Hmm.
or something.
I don't have that.
Oh well.
And book events this year, I've got ARA 2025, which is two weeks. I think
Yeah,
it's 2 weeks
that's
away.
close, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
two. I'm not prepared.
It's a lot.
2 weeks, and I'm doing it in Brisbane. I'm not doing Sydney this
Awesome.
year. I'm just doing Brisbane. My sister's going
Nice.
to be my PA.
Awesome.
Um,
It's good having a
well,
sister.
it was more that she wanted to go to see Nalini sing, and I was like, I'll come with you. Oh, hold on, I'll sign there too. Why not?
Perfect. That's it. You've got a good
So
relationship there. I think that's amazing.
yeah, yeah. She likes to be my PA when I do Brisbane events because she gets in for free. I can go check out the books.
Yep, that's just the
But yeah,
perk of having,
that's the perk.
that's
Yeah,
the
she's never at
perk.
my table. She's walking around.
You're like, actually, I need your help here with stuff. No,
Yeah, yeah. I need 2 seconds. I want to go wander too.
no, it's my turn.
Um,
No.
Usually she's my saleswoman too. Like half the time when someone asks me what's my book about, I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, hold on, I got you. And she'll tell them. She sells my books for me because she'll tell everyone what my book's about.
That's great.
That's the perks of having her read them first.
Yeah, that's it. No, she seems like she's pretty good with like
Read it.
speaking and also like maybe more the practical side of the literary stuff. And then you take on the
Hmm.
persona of the
I just
creative
sign the
one.
books.
Eh, just sign the books
Just
and
sign the books.
she does that work for you. That's a perfect relationship there
Hmm.
because you need someone in your life
Absolutely.
to help with that. And as I was saying
Yeah.
before, my mum helped me out with my first debut novel, Still Waters Run Deep. Like she didn't really like help with much of the plot, so to speak, but she pretty much read every chapter and edited for me, and that was a great kind of bonding thing that we did. And yeah, so
Mm.
I'm also like you, where I love to involve family where I can because it's a good springboard where you can kind of be honest with each other without kind of like
Yeah.
feeling like you have to, I don't know, like mince words. It's like family, you can just say whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
just put it
I
out.
remember my mom getting to the end of Conflictus and she was like, where's the rest? Where's the rest?
Ah!
I need the rest. Like, I need it now.
And you're like,
She
Mom,
did that
don't
with
tell me what to do.
Infernum too. She's like, and the rest? Like, I want it. And I was like, it's not even written yet. I haven't got it. I'm
So
really
every
sorry. I'm like, you'll be the first one to get it when it's finished.
we can have to do that to our family. But every
Yeah,
family
yeah.
catch up, it will be Mum will be like, so, Kristen, where's the rest of the book? Where is it? Why
Yeah, yeah.
haven't you
What,
started yet?
like, have I got, what is the next chapter? I'm like, nah, still haven't done it.
My goodness. Oh,
Eventually, eventually it'll be
eventually.
done.
Hey, you're the author, you're the creative here, so they need to back off.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
They need to let you do your thing. So
Yeah.
I will wrap it up there for you so that your
Yeah.
beautiful daughter can have her party
Her party.
and will you have to sit there with her at the place and yeah, so that's gonna be
Yeah, it's a pool party, so I got to
Oof.
sit next to the pool. Thankfully, they can. Otherwise, I'd have to get in the pool too. Not make that.
Oh gosh, okay. I'm glad that you don't have to. You can just sit there and chill and,
Yeah.
have some time to think about maybe some other
More stories. Maybe that one in Gold Coast.
Exactly. Okay, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this. We've done some brainstorming here. It's been productive. It's
Yeah.
been a productive session. Well, it always is talking about the author life. And
Yeah.
I do want to truly express my gratitude for you jumping on and chatting all
Yeah,
things
no worries.
indie, yeah, the author
Yeah.
life. Because it's just been so great to hear your perspective. And again, I just feel like we are the same person in so many
Yeah.
ways. So graphic designers in us as well.
Yes. 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 Yes.
No, I really
More
appreciate it.
creatives.
Yeah, that's right. We're the
No
creatives.
problem.
And I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing what happens next in your writing world.